Hey, this is Chef Chad from Lex 530. Today I'm going to show you how to make a classic bruschetta, an Italian hors d'oeuvre. For this, we're going to need some balsamic vinegar. Mine happens to be reduced and thickened up. Some really good extra virgin olive oil. You want to use your best stuff for this. Any type of tomatoes. I happen to have some heirloom varieties here I got from the farmer's market. Fresh basil, garlic, and some crostinis made out of a French baguette. All right, so our bruschetta is very simple, doesn't have very many ingredients, and the point of it is to highlight the tomatoes. So it's best to make when tomatoes are at the peak of season in summer and you get them like straight from a farmer's market or somewhere like that where they haven't been refrigerated and the flavor is still at its best. So the first thing we're going to do is to chop up our tomatoes. You just gotta take the core out. I'll take the bottom off this guy because he's got a little hard spot. It's nice to use a couple varieties and colors of tomato just to add to the eye appeal and the flavor. I'm going to switch to this guy. Your tomatoes, especially if they have not been refrigerated and they're very ripe, the skin can really fight a sharp, well, okay, that's nice, very sharp, but even a good sharp kitchen knife, it can fight. The skin wants to not give and it can be hard to cut. So if that happens, you can use a serrated knife. Like I have this little guy. Most of you at home would have like steak knives with a lightly serrated blade, and those actually glide through very easily if you have a problem with your straight edge. So once you have your tomatoes all diced up, I do it on the cutting board, and then I like to give them a little shake and get some of the liquid out, especially if you have really nice ripe ones. They tend to have a lot of juice. Just throw them in a bowl. All right. Then we are going to add the fresh basil. And what we want to do with that is chiffonade. And chiffonade means a very thin slice. So the easiest way to do this is to take your basil leaves and just lay them on top of each other and then roll them up tightly. Slice across very thinly. And there you go. You can use as much basil as you want or as little. The beautiful thing about this recipe is there's really no recipe. It's all about personal taste. If you really like basil, add more basil. If you want the tomato to just be the complete star, just more tomato. You can add onion to these also. I see a lot of bruschetta recipes with onion. I don't prefer it because it tends to overpower the tomato a little bit. So we're going to add a decent pinch of salt, a little black pepper. We're just going to give a little squeeze of olive oil to help bind it, and then just a touch of balsamic vinegar, just to help flavor. Let me toss all of that. And it would be best to let this mixture sit for a little bit so that the flavors can meld, but you can eat it immediately. Let me taste it for salt. Perfect. All right, so I made some crostinis, and all I did was took a baguette, I sliced it on a slight bias, about 3/4 of an inch thick, half an inch, and then I drizzled them with extra virgin olive oil, a little salt, a little pepper, put them in a 300-degree oven until they hardened up. Now, if you like your bread softer for a bruschetta, what I do for that is I cut them about twice as thick, and then I will olive oil, salt, and pepper, and grill them. Just on one side though, to get some nice grill marks. It also gives a nice charred flavor to it, and then those make a nice presentation for it. So as far as garlic goes, again, like with the onion, you can mince up a garlic clove and add it directly to your tomatoes, but I don't like how overpowering that can be also. A lot of raw garlic can be overpowering. So what I prefer to do is just take the raw garlic clove and just rub each crostini a little bit. So then you're imbuing it with the garlic flavor, but it's not too strong. And then it is just a matter of trying to avoid the liquid that has pooled at the bottom, because you don't want to make your crostinis soggy. You want to pile it up nice. And then when I go to serve these, then I would do all the tomatoes. And then since my vinegar is thickened, it's not going to soak through and just drench the bread, but it's going to sit on top nicely. Add a nice bit of tang and zip to it. So there you go. Very simple dish to do at the height of summer's tomatoes. Very simple, very flavorful, easy hors d'oeuvre. Thank you for watching.